You got some wicked bedhead, bud.
Hey guys, welcome my friend. The name is a bird.
What? Say-
The mommy say it.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be painting a harvest moon. So let's jump right into the video. Okay, so to start, I'm just gonna go through my materials. I have my B watercolor paper taped down with cheap painter's tape from the dollar store, my Winsor Newton Professional watercolors in my palette, and then my Princeton snap brushes in a size 6, 12, and 2 round, and as well as this mop brush just to help me wet up the background a little bit faster, but you don't need this. You can just use your biggest paintbrush, and we're ready to go. Okay, so we're gonna be painting a harvest moon. And so you're gonna wanna find something circular to trace this circle with. So I'm just gonna use this little paint jar like that. Okay, and now we can start painting. So I'm gonna do the background, kind of like this dark, moody sky. So I'm thinking maybe because the moon is gonna be orange, a nice like Payne's gray, which has a little tint of blue to it, might be really nice. So I'm gonna grab my mop brush and I'm gonna grab some Payne's gray. Yeah. And I might even grab like a little bit of orange to make it a little bit dustier of a gray or blue. Okay, and I'm just gonna start painting the whole background this color. Oops. Trying to not go where the moon is gonna be. Trying my best. Maybe I don't need a mop brush and I should just use my other one. That's fine. We've already started. Okay, just going carefully around that moon. Because it's gonna be lighter in color, so we don't wanna have any of the darkness on the moon. Like that. Again, just making sure that it's not on the moon. I'm gonna grab a bit more Payne's gray. You really don't need a mop brush. I don't know why I'm doing this. Making it harder on myself. See. And then I'm just gonna darken it up a bit more. And I want it darker around the edges, further away from the moon, and a bit lighter towards the moon. So I'm just adding that darker color. And we're gonna have trees coming up in front of the moon. So don't worry too much about the bottom half here because this is gonna be mostly black. So you don't really have to worry about that, but mostly up here, you just want it darker in the corners. Like so, okay? Okay, like that. And now we're gonna let that dry and we will come right back. Okay, now it's dry. If you wanna do another layer to make it darker, you definitely can. I think I'm just gonna leave it the way it is right now. And we'll see how it looks. Now I'm going to do the moon. So we're gonna do a nice bright orange moon. So try and make sure you're using different water because my water right now is blue and we don't wanna mix orange water with that. So I just have this other jar of water and it's on the redder side. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, just try not to mix it with your blue. So I'm gonna grab some cadmium orange here and we're just always gonna start off with a light wash, always. Okay, we're just gonna fill in that moon. with our light wash. And this color is going to be the highlighted parts. So we're only going to go darker from here. Okay, so now let's create a rustier orange. So I'm going to grab my orange. You can even grab a little bit of that blue, that Payne's gray. And then we're going to just start dropping in some wet on wet color around, okay? You do dots. One thing I am gonna do, so I'm gonna make it a bit darker on this side right up here. One thing I am gonna do is I'm gonna clean off my brush, make sure it's not too wet, have a little bit of water on there so it's just clean, maybe a little bit, and just do a couple water dots. And that's just gonna push the paint away to make some lighter areas and kind of give that like crater effect. Okay, so not a ton of water, but enough that it's kind of spreading it. I don't know if you see that. Okay, then I'm gonna take some darkish red. Actually, yeah, let's just grab some alizarin red. I'm gonna mix it with that orange that we just made. And I'm gonna do some more dark spots on this moon. Wet on wet is perfect for moons. I'd even grab a little bit of black and add it with my orange just to get a bit darker. Let's add a bit more orange. I just mixed that into my orange because I was lazy. Hold on. Okay, we're just gonna continue to dab and create these little cratery patterns. And clearly this is not like realistic. I think I'm gonna grab a bit more red, a little bit of orange to make some brighter parts. You know what I'm thinking I might do to really create those crater bits is I'm gonna get some salt. You know what? I feel like there's a little bit too much paint on there. I'm gonna mop it up a little bit. And then add a bit more darkness over here. Yeah, there we go. So that burgundy color is just alizarin red with a little bit of black. Okay. Really want to make this side darker. Okay, so now I have a little bit of salt in my hand, and I'm just going to take some, hopefully this works, and I'm going to put it on some places where I want there to be highlights. Okay, so a lot like kind of right here. I want that like one crater right there, maybe a little bit where there's darker bits. Just make sure that it's wet, okay? In order for this to work. Let's hope this works. And then we'll come back and when that's dry and see how it looks. So once I let it all dry, I kind of realized that the sky dried a lot lighter than I wanted. So I just went back over the whole sky area with some dark Payne's gray just to make it a little bit more darker and moody. Okay, so as you can see, I did another layer of the dark sky. I think I did the moon a little bit too dark, so in order to make it look a little bit brighter and lighter, I just made the sky darker. Okay, so the other thing I forgot to mention that you may need is some white ink. If you don't have this is Dr. P.H. Martin's bleed proof white ink. This is just what I really like to use. You could use white watercolor, white gouache, or a white gel pen, whatever works. I'm just going to use it to create some highlights on our moon. Okay. So I'm just gonna take this and my brush. Okay, I'm gonna take my smaller brush and I'm just gonna wet inside, grab a little bit, and I'm gonna do right here, I'm gonna do like a little circle kind of thing, and then some lines coming from it. Okay, like that. Maybe a little bit of dots here and there. Okay. To make it look a little bit like craters on the moon. Like that. And that's kind of it for that part. And then I'm just gonna add some darker bits again to the moon just to make it a little bit more defined. So I'm just gonna grab a little bit of some rusty orange. And I'm just gonna messily create some splotches on the moon, kind of. Nothing too specific. And because the moon is dry now, these splotches will be more defined. And that's kind of the purpose. You can even take a little bit of that dark burgundy color. A little bit of water. Might even grab some just bright cadmium orange. Just lay it down on there. Just to give this moon a bit of texture, right? Instead of it looking so flat. Okay. So nothing too crazy. That's about it. And then we're just gonna wait for our background to dry and the moon to dry, and then we can start doing the trees in the foreground. Okay, now that it's all dry, we can start doing our trees in the foreground, and because they are in front of a bright moon, they are gonna be black. So I'm just gonna grab my black watercolor here, and I'm just gonna create a layer down here so we don't have to do too many trees or too much detail, because it would all kind of be faded down here at the bottom anyway. That makes sense. Like this. And then I'm just going to start bringing up, making it uneven a bit. I know this looks pretty weird. Just wait, just trust me. Just making sure it's nice and dark. Okay. So that was with my big brush, and I'm going to use my size 6, and we're going to start doing some more individual trees. And we're all going to start like how we always do, with our vertical lines, and then our messy kind of pine trees, like this. And then you can get kind of thicker as you get to the bottom because it'll be more dense, where they all kind of come together. Just very messily. And you can even do other types of trees too. You don't have to just do like a pine tree. You could do one with like branches like this. However you want. Might even get my smaller brush for that kind of tree. Hold on. Let's do a couple more pine trees, and then be going right in front of the moon. So those top parts of the branches of the tree, they kind of point up. And then as you go down, they start to point down. And then messier towards the bottom. Let's do another one here. Really using the tip of that brush and light pressure to get those tiny little lines. Okay, like that. We can do some of those other trees here. And I find it's easy to just, or like to get these kind of really thin, jaggedy kind of lines. Lift your hand off and just really light pressure. Just moving your, I don't know if I'm making sense. Let's do another pine tree here. Do a taller one over here. Very light and jagged. Just gonna make it a bit more dense down here at the bottom so we don't have to do too much detail. And you can do some more if you want. And then I'm just trying to blend it into the bottom, make sure it's all even, nice and dark, especially towards the bottom. There we go. And then you can let it dry and we'll see how it looks. Okay, so it's dry. Let's see what it looks like without the tape. Gosh, I love a good crisp line. And there you go. There is your fall harvest moon.
Thank you all so much for watching my video. I really hope you liked it and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram for even more. Have a great day, guys.
Bye.